Ginger says, "My problem is when I'm too honest, the guy will leave me. So what can I do?" Well, it depends on what you mean by too honest, Ginger. I was just talking about this recently where being honest doesn't mean saying everything that's going on all the time, right? That's not being honest. That's giving way too much information than you should be giving, right? You show up and he doesn't ask you, if you go and hang out with a guy and you're dating other people, let's say you're dating in abundance. This is one of the common ones that I see women talk about in our community. And they're like, "Well, I'm dating other men," right? And so they show up and they go on a date with this guy and they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm dating a whole bunch of different men right now. What do you think about that?" Right? And it's like, he doesn't need to know that. He doesn't want to know that. That's none of his business. You're not in an exclusive relationship. It's none of his business. There's a lot of things that are none of his business. It's none of his business what kind of deodorant you're wearing or what, your favorite shoes, to put. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff, but you don't have to tell him everything. There's a whole bunch of things that you don't tell guys when you go on dates. That doesn't mean you're not being honest. Some of that's none of his business. Some of it he doesn't care about. Some of it will make you less attractive to him initially. Some of it's things that you don't talk about on a first date. You wait until you're further in the date or after a couple of dates or something before you talk about it. You don't have like grabbing everything that's every issue and problem and thing that's going to make him less attracted to you and throwing it in his face doesn't make, isn't a good recipe for making a guy more attracted to you. And it doesn't make you more honest. It just makes you somebody who says a whole bunch of things that don't necessarily need to be said. And she also says, "So should I be a 100% honest because sometimes I will chase the guy away?" Well, you should figure out what you're saying that's chasing the guy away and then figure out whether that's actually honest or not, right? Why are you saying that to him? Why are you telling him that? Is it something that really needs to be said, right? If you fart, do you tell a guy that you just farted? Right? Do you tell a guy every time you fart? Right? If you're on a date, do you tell a guy every time you fart, Ginger? I want to know. I want to know, I want to know if you fart on a date, if you tell him every single time. If you do, you should stop that behavior right now, Ginger. Stop it. It's none of his business. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't need to know. It's not important. Don't tell him about that.